Get gaming.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the D-Pod. This episode is on the 8th of May, 2016. We've been absent for quite a while now, but there were some organizational issues. So we have a lot of news when it comes to the podcast itself. And one of these things is that both JJ and Jeffrey have left the podcast. They were busy with other projects in life, and we decided to part ways. So we do want to thank them for all their continued support and work on the podcast. But we have found a replacement for them, and his name is Marcel.
Hey, how are you doing?
So, Marcel, tell us something about yourself. Tell us something about your gaming habits.
Well, my name is Marcel Dillon. I'm 26 years old. I study creative technology and games. Fuck.
It's okay. It's okay. So,
Keep
game
going,
development, I take it?
No, creative media and games technology.
All right. So you
Yeah.
work with engines and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So, what kind of games do you play?
At the moment, a lot of small indie games. Since I'm a lot away from home, so I'm pretty much stuck to my MacBook for playing games. When I'm at home, I play at my Xbox One.
He's the first one on this podcast to own an Xbox One.
Yay!
Yay for coverage. All right. Well, you play a lot of small indie games. It's actually refreshing to see that when compared to our last two hosts. That was mostly just League of Legends and CSGO, which of course, no problem. But it's nice to see someone who plays a lot of different games.
Yeah,
So,
I kind of like my games a bit more bite-sized, let's say. So something I can go through in a few hours and just leave it there.
Yeah, well, I'm more for the bigger games. I do like a small indie game every once in a while, but it has to really grab my attention. Anyway, let's kick it off. Actually, what have you guys been playing last week? Let's for the last weeks. Actually, let's start with you, Julie.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't think it should come as a surprise that I played a lot of Stardew Valley.
Still?
Still, yes. I have over 122 hours on this game.
Jesus Christ.
I know. But basically I'm completely done with the storyline and all that kind of stuff. So what I've been doing is just farming achievements and trying to get that
Farming achievements?
Yes. Quite literally, because most of the achievements are farming different things. So
yeah, I noticed that was the joke.
pun. Yeah. And some rep gains with the people who live in the town and all that kind of stuff.
Rap games?
No, rep, like reputation. Because you have like
Oh.
a reputation system with the people in the town that you live in.
I thought you were going to do rap battles. I'm actually slightly disappointed.
might
Well,
be a
I
cool
wish
game.
I had.
Well, Parappa the Rapper. I guess that works.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Kind of like Guitar Hero, but we're like Rap Hero.
That would
Alright.
be really cool. But yeah.
No, I don't think it would be. I don't think voice recognition software is that funny.
I don't know, as a party game, maybe it would be fun. It's like karaoke
SingStar,
night.
but SingStar, but just with rap songs.
Yeah, oh my god, that would be so bad. But I'm digressing. So I've also played some World of Warcraft, mostly just some group content that I've been exploring because I really haven't played that much this expansion in World of Warcraft, and what I have done in
From
you know,
what you told
before.
us, like podcast wise, you've played a lot actually.
Well, yeah, I have, but compared to the previous expansions of the game, I've definitely played a lot less this expansion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think it peaked somewhere during the Pandaria era.
yeah,
The
definitely.
Pandera, if you will.
Definitely, but yeah, I've just been doing some group content every now and then, and I've been having some fun, which is new, this expansion, because
Having
it
fun in
hasn't been
WoW is
fun.
new, like altogether. So
True. I've also played some Terraria.
I saw actually.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Terraria, but I've definitely started getting back in there. I've also killed some world bosses, which was fun. Because mostly before, when I played it, when I really got back into it a while ago, mostly what I did was just exploring and just farming and all that kind of stuff. But now I've really gotten into the battle part of it, which is it's really exciting, and the bosses are cool as well. I've also finished BioShock 2 because I during the last, I know, couple months maybe, I've been redoing the whole franchise, starting with the BioShock Infinite and then jumping back to BioShock 1 and then BioShock 2, and now I've finished it. So I'm done with the whole franchise for now. And it's been a lot of fun.
All right.
So yeah, other than that, I played some CS:GO with Jeffrey, who had to leave us this podcast, and just learning the ropes basically, and massively getting wrecked. And I've also,
Sukabliet.
yeah, definitely.
Sukabliet.
I'm not even gonna go into how bad I am at this game, but it was fun. And then just some exploring and some leveling in Pokemon. So that's what I've been playing recently. So
All right.
not a whole lot of different games, but definitely a lot of hours in each one.
All right. So what about you, Marcel? What have you been up to when it comes to gaming?
I've played a lot of Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. Oh yeah, that thing. That's a
It's
thing.
quite an interesting experience, I think, but not really as special as I thought it would be.
No, but isn't that like the case with every single like big blockbuster game? Wasn't it the same case with whatchamacallit, Watch Dogs? Like it was supposed to be revolutionary and then it was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Quantum Break, it had some really cool ideas, but it just wasn't there. I don't know if you know a lot about the game, but the game is cut up in episodes, and each episode ends with an episode of the TV series.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I think it tries to bridge the gap between people who like to watch shows and play games.
Yeah, but so every episode of the TV series is about 20 to 25 minutes long, I think. So you're playing and you have to stop for more than 20 minutes to watch the TV series. I think they better could have separated it.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would much rather put on Netflix.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I also played Oxenfree, which is taking up a lot of my time. Also, when I'm not gaming, I'm constantly checking the subreddit for it.
Oh yeah.
'Cause they got a lot of cool things going on.
Yeah,
The
I
game
heard
is
a
going
lot
to
about it.
release.
I'm not sure what it is exactly. Could you explain?
All right, it's an adventure game. Mostly it's something like a point and click. Most of it is just talking. But you play a few teams on an island and shit is going down. I don't want to spoil too much.
Oh, it's like a Danganronpa kind of thing, or
I don't know what it is.
no? Okay, well, I guess I'll have to educate you at some point then.
All right.
But a point and click adventure game with
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
walk around
talking and
and-
stuff.
Yeah, you walk around, you talk with people. They actually have a really cool system for talking where you can interrupt people, and if what they're saying is important, they go on with. Anyway, which is
Objection. Get that
Yeah.
kind of.
yeah, but it's something I haven't seen in other games really. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's going to release for PlayStation 4, and once again, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's going to be different endings,
All
which
right.
is cool because the endings now are not really doing it for most people, which I think they did on purpose. But there's also an alternative reality game going on.
Oh, you mean the augmented reality game, the AR thing?
Alternative reality game. So things that play out in the real world.
No, that's
Uh,
augmented reality gaming.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But
I
Alright,
do
whatever,
think
whatever.
it is.
all right. But where people found codes hidden in the game that led to a telephone number, they had to call it. They got a voicemail. Some people got a text message back. They had to combine certain things, decode Morse code and stuff to get to a Twitter account, read of the stuff in the Twitter account, decode that stuff, and it's going to lead to something in the real world, a real event or something,
Oh,
which
that
is
sounds
really
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like something
That's
right up your alley, Julie. Like the adventure, the point and click thing.
True. Maybe I'll quiz you more on it, Marcel, later. But yeah, it definitely sounds cool though.
yeah, you should.
All
All
right.
right.
Anything else?
Yeah, a lot of Rocket League, but
Oh yeah. Well, there's not much left to say about Rocket League.
no, not really.
No, it's good, but yeah, it's quite simple, and you cover it once, you cover it like forever.
Yeah, that's true. I know you guys have covered it a lot, so. And
Oh,
also, yeah, a bit of the new Hearthstone expansion I've been checking out, but I'm not too fond of it. I'm losing my interest in Hearthstone quite rapidly.
yeah. So have I. It's kind of it's falling into the same trap as Magic the Gathering is with the power creep, and
Yeah, it is.
like the power curve is so off now when compared to the earlier expansions. If I started playing now, I would be useless.
Yeah, it is. And I don't really like what I did with the Wild and Advanced, or whatever it's called, to
Yeah,
split the game
that's
basically
yeah
into.
the constructed kind of thing. I know
Yeah.
what you mean. All right.
So that's what I've been doing.
All
last
right.
week.
Well, here we go. I guess it's my turn now. I've been subjecting myself to the masochistic torture of Dark Souls 3. And, oh my god, it's
I've seen that on Twitter.
it's like a very it's a brick wall to smash your head against, but it's a very nice brick wall.
All right.
It's inviting. So like
Yeah.
it has like a big button on it, smash here to release cheese.
I think the
So
only
how are you
game.
finding it?
Well, damn.
So much conflicting
mixed
emotions.
mixed feelings. Pretty much. It's been, of course, it's been fun. Like the game is long as well. I've been doing a lot of exploring, and I've actually convinced some people to play the game as well. And it's kind of nice when you all have a different experience and you combine your knowledge of the game. Like for some, for example, right? Somebody missed a certain turn somewhere and they didn't get an item. So I talked to one of my guys and he tells me, oh yeah, there's an item over there. Like there's one very specific thing somewhere in the catacombs of Carthus, I believe it's called. There's a rope bridge and it looks like really rickety. You don't really want to cross it. And there's even a message from the developer saying something like, yeah, the bridge looks kind of wonky.
Yeah.
So I found a way around because there's like a stone bridge you can cross to get to the other side anyway. Turns out that if you cross that bridge, which is totally possible, you can actually attack one of the poles holding up the bridge. The bridge will fall down. It will break in the middle and it will fall down. And you can use it as a ladder to like an entirely different area below. It's amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I would have never figured that out if it weren't for the friend who told me like, hey, you should attack the bridge. You should hit it once.
Yeah.
Apart from that, like the boss design is pretty cool. The levels are what you would expect from Dark Souls, kind of Metroidvania inspired, interconnected places. Everything connects to another zone in some way, shape, or form. You have the typical Dark Souls feeling of seeing a door somewhere at the end of an area and going like, where would this lead? And then you go follow the shortcut, and you're like, oh, so that's where it leads. Kind of, you have a realization, and what it does to you, it kind of makes you realize how the architecture is connected. Like everything's connected, and everything's connected in such a way that feels real, basically. And you
Yeah.
walk through a corridor, and you walk all the way around a certain castle, and then you realize, like, oh, there's a door right here, the one I saw at the beginning of the zone that I couldn't access. But it's like, it feels very real. It feels like a shortcut you would use in real life, for instance. Apart from that, like the game is immensely satisfying. Once again, if you clear a boss, you feel like $1 million, basically.
Well, I
It's
would
such-
imagine so, since it's so hard.
Yeah, it's such an endorphin rush every time you clear a boss. Like I convinced another friend of mine, a very good friend, to play it, and it's not his kind of game actually. But he got the exploring part and customizing your own builds, kind of what convinced him to actually buy it. And
Yeah.
he quit after 20 minutes, saying this is not my
No.
kind of game. He was raging. He was about to break his controller. He's done it before. That's a
something I would like to ask you about. I haven't played any of the Souls games, really. The only one I bought was Demon's Souls, and I really didn't like it. I think I gave up after 15 minutes or so. Would you recommend Dark Souls? Is it any different?
Dark Souls, from what I can gather, not having played Demon Souls, but from a lot of comparisons I've seen in the community, Dark Souls is less punishing. Not so much less hard, because the difficulty stays about the same, but there's not as big of a punishment for dying.
All right, yeah.
And the boss fights are designed differently these days. In Demon Souls, from what I gather, it's more about positioning. In Dark Souls, it's all about blocking certain attacks, and in Bloodborne, it's about evading. So there's the kind of a theme to the combat, if you will.
All right. Yeah. When I look at footage of the game, I'm like, yeah, I really like this, but because of Demon Souls, I feel, nah, I'm not gonna play this. I'm gonna give up after 15 minutes or so.
It's pretty damn good. Like, there's a couple of things you want to consider before you buy this game or take the plunge. There's no demo of it, so you can't really try unless you like PS4 share play or something like that. But if you're into games that make you work for the narrative, like the lore in this world is very, very rich. There's a lot to it, and everything has a certain explanation behind it, but you have to piece together these things yourself by use of item descriptions, optional NPC dialogue, exploring and finding a certain written message somewhere. It's amazing. If you like a story that isn't like handed to you through narrated cutscenes, you have to try this. And as I said, it's an endorphin rush. As soon as you beat an enemy, you feel, as I said, like $1 million. You feel like you can take on the fucking world, and then like the next boss
Then
just
you get
wrecks you.
smacked down again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But-
it's one of the best games, or well, I shouldn't say that, but it's one of the games I am most invested in.
Yeah, but what you said about the narrative and you have to read item descriptions, things like that. Is that something you really like? Because I've been playing Quantum Break. A lot of Quantum Break is cutscenes and the TV show, things like that. And still you had a, a massive part of the story was hidden in items, in emails, which were pages long to read if you wanted to know everything that was going on. While they had so much cutscenes, and I thought that was really one of the worst things about the game.
Well, you have to think of it this way. It's not so much in pages long item descriptions. It's like an item description always fits in the same space. Like it's just a couple of lines big. And though it's not mandatory, you don't have to invest in the story. But like the game manual says, finding the lore in Dark Souls is kind of a game within the game. You could play through the entire game and not know anything about the story. That's totally fine. But if you invest in the story, you find out that everything is interconnected, just like the level design. There's always an explanation given. And it's a lot of the storytelling is done through context. If you see, for instance, I'm trying to think of a good example here, because there's a lot of them, but when you get used to the world, it doesn't really stand out to you anymore. Let's see. For instance, I'll just somewhere in the town of Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. There is you have an NPC that you unlock. It's an optional NPC, but you can unlock him to stay in your hub zone, like very early in the game. His name is Gryrot. Right. And he's a thief, and he sells you stuff, and you can send him to pillage. After you've cleared the zone, he asks, "Well, do you want me to pillage it?" And if you do, he comes back with new loot. But in this Irithyll of the Boreal Valley, if you send him there, he won't come back. And you have to go out of your way in the world. Well, not really go out of your way, but if you, it's kind of tucked away in a corner somewhere. You can find an item, and and the item is Gryrot's ashes. So he gets incinerated in some way, shape, or form. Ooh. Which is weird. The zone where he's in, he's not actually. There's no fire, but. Well, I mean, everything is fire-based in Dark Souls. So it makes sense, but...
Something horrible happened to him.
Something horrible did happen to him.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like, context-based storytelling. I finally got a good example. There's a keep somewhere, and near the keep is a boss fight. And once you get from the bonfire into an open area, there's a couple of monsters. I think they're called Grus, standing around holding weapons. And there's two Dark Knight-esque figures walking towards them, and they start slaying all the Grus. Turns out these guys are Dark Wraiths, and Dark Wraiths are inhabitants of another world. And they are also on their way to clear the bosses. The boss, I should say. To clear that certain boss. So you can actually see them going there and taking a rest before the entrance. Before they don't really head in, because you're supposed to kill them to get to the boss. But they also hold these items, which are cracked red eye orbs. And cracked red eye orbs are used to invade other worlds. So that's what I mean by context-based storytelling. If you think about it, you can piece together like, oh, they're trying to challenge the boss of this area. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty great, actually.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a game you can get heavily invested in. Like the first day I played it, the day I got it, I think I put in 12 hours.
Oh wow.
All right. It's actually I was over at a friend, and I was which is one of the friends I've convinced to play the game. I told him, okay, I'm gonna go get a game and we're gonna have some fun, because I had an appointment that day, and on the way back to him, I would pick up the game and we start to play it, and he fell in love. And I never expected him to like that kind of hard game, but yeah, he's loving it. He's playing it even more than I am now, even though I am farther along. But he explores like everything, every nook and cranny.
He's that kind of guy.
Well,
we
he
all
d-
know that player.
he does a good job. He does like a great job at it, and his memory is so good when it comes to that because he can
Yeah.
tell me in detail where where an item is I missed, and I tell him I ask him where was that item again? He's like, oh well, if you take a right there and then take a ladder down, jump from a rock to your right, and you kill. There's 3 monsters over there, so look out for those. And then he just retells it like straight from his brain, and I think that's pretty impressive. I couldn't do it. I have to see
Oh
it.
wow. Yeah. That's really good memory.
But yeah, apart from that, I've actually played a lot of other games. I've been playing more Bravely Default on my 3DS because a stream reminded me to go and play that again. Well, go and advance farther in the story because I'm pretty far along. But from what I've heard, this game gives you a very good narrative reason for playing the game again, in like New Game Plus mode.
Yeah.
So I really want to see that. I've also started Metal Gear Solid 5 again because I've missed
Alright.
that. I was kind of
Yeah.
stuck on a mission. There's is there a way to tell this without spoiling? No, all right, I'll try.
Yeah.
At some
go.
point in the game, unless you meet a certain condition that you could meet by total accident, by total like coincidence, you could meet a certain, you could trigger a certain flag, and if you don't trigger that flag, one of your companions goes missing, and you have to go on a rescue mission for that companion. That rescue mission is fucking hard. I can't put it into words. Well, literally, it's you against, I think, 16 tanks. And they can hit you almost anywhere. They can see you from, I think, 200 yards away. So it's so fucking hard. Can't believe it.
All right.
Yeah,
but did you got it though?
No, I did not. I
Aw.
honestly thought, fuck it, because that was my favorite companion, and I
Yeah.
didn't get to use said companion anymore. So I really wanted to experience the story again and experience the gameplay of it again. So I deleted my save data. I missed out on a lot of things too because there was this online component with the forward operating bases that enabled other players to steal resources from you and vice versa, of course. But the less fun part of that is when you haven't played for a while, you log in and you see that all of your resources have been pilfered.
Aw.
Yeah.
Just
So
imagine.
what I did is I actually as soon as the FOB functionality unlocks, I'm gonna start playing offline this time, so I can develop more weapons. There's also at some point there was like a gun soldier, like a gun master soldier you could extract somewhere, which I never encountered. But there's a guy you can recruit that basically can customize your guns for you, so you don't have to develop a separate gun. You can just add a suppressor to a gun or make it non-lethal instead of lethal. And I missed that, and I wanted like a suppressed tranquilizer sniper, and I couldn't get it like until way late into the game. So it turns out because that was funny.
Fair enough. Well, I hope it goes better when you restart the whole thing.
Oh, I already did, and so far, like, it's also cool because there's a big plot twist at the end, a very big plot twist. It's very Kojima-esque, but it's kind of weird to replay the game after that plot twist. It feels different.
Yeah.
Because you now have certain knowledge about the situation that you didn't have before. And suddenly a lot of things start making sense. Like, of course, those things would make sense in retrospect. At the end of the game, you're like, oh, yeah, so that's why this and that happened, or that didn't work, or that did work, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you want to experience it again, I think. At least that's what I do when there's a big plot twist on the end. I always feel like I have to go back because now I'm going to get everything that
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what you mean, but Metal Gear Solid 5 is not really the game to do that in like instantaneously, because when you clear the game, you are kind of burnt out on it, and that means a lot coming from a fanboy like me. You get burnt out on that game, you don't really want to play it anymore, and sometime later I get the Metal Gear itch and start playing it again.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm thinking, should we do a break now? It's kind of what you guys want. If we do the break now, or we do it after the topics.
Yeah, let's just go for a break now, and then we'll get right back in there.
All right.
See you soon.
In that case, well, we'll be done after the break. We're gonna go get ourselves a drink on this very hot day. We'll see you guys around very soon. Hello, everyone. We're back after the break, and we're going to jump right into the topics as we won't have any news this week. It's been a busy week. Nobody really had the time to keep up with the news. So we're just going to do stories and new releases. Well, let's start with you, Julie. What topic do you have for us this week?
Yes, let's start with.
Yeah, let's start with Julie. What kind of topic do you have for us this week?
Well, I wanted to talk about the rush of connectivity within gaming and, gaming platforms. And the thing is like, I feel like everything now needs to be connected in some way. Like games either need to be connected to the internet or connected to services like Twitter or Facebook or whatever. You need to be connected to each other, to other players. And this is something that like most companies go out and say like this is imperative to the future of gaming, and basically they're very focused on giving us a service on top of the games that they're already providing, like the enabling of Twitter within World of Warcraft, or Nintendo branching out with an app, Miitomo.
Well, that's on another platform, like entirely like the Miitomo.
Yeah, they're but they're still branching out into the whole, app world though, and connecting players.
Well,
even though
to be
it's
honest,
not like
the WoW thing, kind of, I thought that was one of the stupidest things ever.
I know.
Because who the hell follows WoW accounts? Like, there's not a lot of them.
You'd
like,
be surprised though. There are so many.
Surprised, yeah, but it's just WoW accounts following WoW accounts.
I know, but still.
Couldn't they make like a WoW social network?
I know. And also it's a thing with like a lot of games where you can't play without internet though, even though you're solo playing.
Maybe for Torrent, like Facebook.
You still can't get over it, can you? The Twitter accounts.
No, I just think it would be nice to have a Torrent exclusive social network, Facebook.
But like
that sounds like something I'd be into.
I mean, this might be biased, but I'm just going out on a limb here and say that the most people who have these like WoW Twitter accounts are either like blood elves or human females.
Oh yeah, because
would they play Torrent though? That's the question.
No, the thing is, a lot of people do that make blood elves are kind of vain, I guess, because it's the prettiest class in Horde. So what they do is they yeah.
Yeah.
So I could imagine that being the kind of people that would make selfies in an MMO.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do have the selfie camera.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Not just that, but every fucking achievement you get, you tweet. And it's
Well, not
so
everyone.
annoying.
Well, not every single one, but like the
Like,
hard to get ones or like the ones that
honestly,
take time.
who
Yeah.
is gonna care about your WoW achievements? Not even WoW
Apparently
players
people
care
who
about
follow
WoW
me.
achievements.
No, apparently people who follow me do, because those are like the tweets that I get the
I am
most like
someone
retweeting and
who
stuff on.
follows you, and I don't care for it one single bit.
You should you should like just hate on them then.
Oh yeah, now I'm gonna do it. Now I'm just gonna troll all your achievement posts.
Yeah, just be like nobody cares, Julie.
Nobody cares. Put it
But-
away.
But like back to the whole rush of connectivity though. Like
Russian connectivity?
well,
Super I'm
no,
sorry.
but like
can't
seriously
resist.
though. Well, what is your thoughts on this? Like everything needs to be connected and like branching out into services and stuff like that.
Well, I guess it's a natural evolution. These days you can see game developers optimizing their game for Twitch streams, that kind of thing. You can see that they not really customize, but they kind of tweak the UI to be very streamer friendly. Your Twitter gets included, and hell, even like to take it back to Dark Souls here, it even has like from Dark Souls 1 onward, it even has like the message system that it has kind of a social network, because you can kind of put a tweet on the ground and people can like it or dislike it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, not
wow.
an actual tweet, but have you never seen Dark Souls?
but within the game kind of thing.
No, well, haven't you ever seen this? Haven't you ever seen Dark Souls or Bloodborne or God?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, there's a system where
Yeah.
you can place a message on the ground with a certain template. There's a framework that, for instance, you have certain messages like "Be wary of blank," "Prepare for blank," "Time for blank," "Try blank," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or even it's blank, that kind of thing. But you can even like make your ghost do a little emote towards where you want to. For instance, if you say "Be wary of up," or "Strong monster ahead, therefore be wary of up," and then you can point upward, that kind of thing. Or illusory wall ahead, because those are really useful, because I would never find those illusory walls myself.
Yeah, those aren't that bad though.
No,
I think that's fine in a game.
Yeah, well, but that's kind of the way the multiplayer works in Soulsborne game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but that's a kind of a good example of how to do some kind of multiplayer social integration.
And how it works, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to post every single fucking thing to Facebook. Like, there's even games now that reward you with certain things as soon as you share something.
Yeah.
And
Do you know this game called Party Hard?
No, but it sounds like something I play in real life. If it involves like munching pills to monotonous music, then I'm in.
No.
Oh wait, that's
okay, go on, Marcel.
You play a guy who wants to sleep, and there's a party next door. So you become the party killer.
Oh my god, that
your
sounds
mission
pretty
is,
fucking awesome.
You get a full overview of the party and people walking around, drinking, having a good time, and you got a knife. You need to murder everyone on the party without being seen and without being caught by the police. But I mention it because that game has some really interesting integration with Twitch. When you stream the game on Twitch, people in your chat can influence certain events in the game.
Really?
So when they start using certain tags, they might trigger aliens to come by or people to regenerate from the dead, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out because it seems like something I would love to stream. Holy
It's
shit.
great.
But yeah, so I don't know if there's a lot more to talk about my topic. What do you think, Marcel?
Uh,
Like
your thought- yeah, I'm sorry, I was disconnected.
connectivity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Marcel was disconnected for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a relationship to connectivity in games when it comes to social integration or connectivity to other players.
Yeah, I don't really know. I know Xbox and PlayStation are trying to work something out, I believe, to connect players on both systems together.
I believe Microsoft said they're open to it, basically admitting that they lost a console war this generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No need to
And,
rub it in.
No, well, not really that, but I think Sony had a response like, "Yeah, we'd love to do it, but technical limitations, blah 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 blah." But I do think one of the first games we could see that kind of thing working with is things like Rocket League, because it's already bridging the gap between PS4 and PC.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I think there might be some problems. Like when you're playing, let's say, PS4 or Xbox One, you're playing kind of a fair game because everyone is using the same settings, the same controller, the same FPS. When you connect people to, let's say, PC, they might be playing on a much better gear, and they might be shooters are better to play with mouse, keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, that is something you do have to consider when it comes to cross-platform connectivity. But I do think that cross-platform connectivity is not really what Julie was.
Oh, all right.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't really see a problem with that at all. I was just more thinking about like, how we constantly need to be online. Like sometimes, yeah, I wish that
Yeah.
I could like log on Diablo 3 and just play solo by myself without having to be fucking online. And have like everyone in that like in my friends list see that I'm online, that are playing even other games, and that I have to have an internet connection to like play by myself.
Welcome
stuff
to
like that.
always online DRM, which we never
Yeah,
considered to be a
exactly.
good thing ever.
Yeah, I don't play online games that much, but I know I think 3 or 4 friends on Xbox, and but I noticed you're constantly they're setting up some kind of tournament in every game, like who's got the most achievements and do you own the same game, who has made more progress, and well, something I've noticed is that it kind of bothers me that everybody can see how much I play the game, how good I'm at it, who of us has the most deaths, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird when they gather metrics in that regard. Like, indeed, when, for instance, I mean, I like that you can compare achievements or trophies. That's kind of nice, but for them to see your time played and for them to see like everything you do in the game,
Yeah, your entire statistics, basically.
you don't want to be embarrassed for sucking at Dark Souls, that kind of. Or
yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of outed myself with the whole Ori and the Blind Forest.
I was
thing we had
about to say
going on.
it. I was about to mention it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was terrible at the game, but but yeah, I mean, anyone could find that out though without me broadcasting. So
Yeah,
that's
because we
something.
all know you suck at video games, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a given at this point.
Yeah, but
You know what, Julie, you should go and play Dark Souls. Clear it, and you'll come back a man. Well, I guess a woman. I don't know, but
more of a woman.
Well, it will turn you from a girl into a woman.
Okay, I'm kind of scared now.
No, it's one of I do have to say, like, for some very difficult games, once you clear it, you're kind of part of an elite club almost.
Yeah, I think we talked about that regarding Bloodborne.
Oh yeah,
You know?
we mentioned the topic, but for that kind of thing, the sharing of the metrics that Marcel mentioned could be actually kind of cool. Like, I would love to be able to pin a certain trophy to my PS4 profile.
You can do that on Xbox.
Oh, well,
Ooh.
well, good luck with
Big
you and your
steps ahead.
Xbox. I will continue playing on my superior limited edition console.
I'm just PC Master Race.
Oh, shut up! You were contemplating buying a PS4,
That's true. That's true. And
and
I
hopefully you still are. 'Cause
I
if not,
am.
I'm gonna have to like chase you with a torch and a pitchfork.
And I think that actually that might shed some light on it. I was thinking about Marcel's topic. Maybe he should talk about that.
Segue into
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
just smoothly run over it. Yeah.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
What I wanted to talk about is the PlayStation 4.5 or the PlayStation Neo. The fact that it's been reported as maybe the Xbox and the PlayStation are down to their last console, and from now on we will only get updates to a certain console. And I was wondering, what are you guys thinking about that?
Well, first of all, I think they should change their naming convention, because now we've had Morpheus, we've had Neo. The next project's
Yeah,
gonna be
but-
Trinity.
But Morpheus and Neo kind of fits together, because I think they're updating the PlayStation 4 for the Morpheus, the VR thing.
Yeah,
When
they're
keeping-
releasing the VR with a box with extra processors in it. That's going to be the plan. So you can hook that up to your PS4, so it has the extra processing power needed to power that thing. And
Yeah,
then
but-
they might include that hardware into the new iteration of the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty much fine with the updates for. the
I'm not.
update.
Oh,
Why not?
If I wanted to buy an upgradable box that I have to buy new parts for to play a new game, or to play a new game at 60 FPS or whatever, I would game on PC.
Yeah,
I don't
alright.
want to buy a
No, but,
PC. And the thing is, what these manufacturers are talking about, they're like, yeah, you buy a new phone every single year. Why won't you buy a new console? Because a phone is some kind of an investment in a much faster moving industry. And
No, but that's what I was trying to say. I'm pretty much okay with the PlayStation 4.5, Neo, whatever, as long as it's just for the virtual reality thing.
well, it
It's not gonna
basically
be just
is.
virtual
though.
reality. No,
As
it's
soon
not.
as they start developing games that only run on the PlayStation 4.5,
They're not doing that.
that's
though.
where I think we will have a problem.
They're not doing that now. But
Yeah, not now.
there's a couple of things to consider when you think about this new iteration of PlayStation. Like, for instance, what happens is that developers are not happy about this. They've already voiced their concern with this. Developers now have to basically design for two systems, and one of the big advantages to programming for a console is that you can basically assume that every piece of hardware is going to be the same. And now you have
Yeah.
to develop for two different systems, which is going to bring up a multitude of problems, including the fact that you now have to also create new assets, for instance, larger textures, that kind of thing, which costs more and more money and manpower, which studios already are short on. I am not supportive of this idea. If I could, I would fucking boycott them, but I wouldn't have a PlayStation to play on. So
Yeah, I said as long as they keep, let's say, the baseline for games just on the PlayStation 4, and if you really want the virtual reality thing, then you're fine. But I know I've worked as a web developer for 3 years, and we've had kind of the same problem with internet browsers,
yeah, exactly.
where I think almost 80% of what we did was making sure a website would work on different browsers, on Firefox, on Chrome, on Internet Explorer.
Yeah, on the 15 different iterations of Internet Explorer
Yeah.
that were not intercompatible. No, but we have an analog to this already in the gaming world. I present to you the new 3DS.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a new 3DS. That's
I do too.
because... Sorry?
I said I do too, so
Okay,
I know what you.
Well, Well, the new 3DS, the thing is, they didn't only add some horsepower, they also added like a C stick. And it would retroactively work with CirclePad Pro compatible titles. For instance, I bought it mostly from Monster Hunter and Smash. Okay, I will admit it was 99% Monster Hunter,
Yeah.
and I got a trade-in deal, which I might do if there's a PS4.5. If I can exchange it or make a trade-in deal, I'd be fine. But I don't I don't want it to be like an elite console that exclusive games are going to come out on a portable console, which is on a way lower price point. It's fine, and there's I believe there's in total 3 new 3DS only games, which are Xenoblade Chronicles, Binding of Isaac, and something else. I'm not sure exactly what it is.
Mhm.
But I also thought that was going to be a bad idea. I bought it for the extra hardware and not the actual processing power. And
Yeah,
I just can't see this working out. Like, developers are already saying, well, we're not going to develop for it. So who is Sony building the PS4.5 for? For people who want 4K output, I could see that. But
no, I still think they're doing it for the people who just want the virtual reality thing. Especially, I mean, they talk to these developers. They know they are against this idea, but I think it's fair to make the comparison to the what was it called, the Steam box, the
no, the Steam boxes.
machine.
I think, yeah, Steam boxes, but Steam boxes are an entirely different topic. Which
No, but I think at first when it comes to the Steam box, I felt like, yeah, this can be cool, playing my Steam games on TV, blah blah. But then they released like 5 different kinds of boxes, and I didn't know which one to choose. It's making it more complicated, and the reason I have a console and not I game much less on a PC because I like how easy a console is. If I buy a game, I know it will work.
Exactly.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the kind of sentiment I have in my head is. If I want to be able to see, okay, this game has released on PS4, I can buy it.
Yeah.
No strings attached. I can buy it,
Yeah.
pop it in, maybe download a 50 gig update, but it'll work.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to upgrade to the newest graphical extension or something like that. I don't want a serial port that I have to plug in all kinds of peripherals to, which I think Xbox did some kind of announcement about being able to add parts to your console. That's also not what I want. At that point, just buy a fucking PC already. Especially with Windows 10 intercompatibility with Xbox games, just buy a fucking PC already. What good is there in buying an Xbox if your PC has the exact same functionality, almost the exact same OS, and the same hardware at that point, and the same hardware capabilities of swapping out certain parts? Then just buy a fucking PC already. It actually got me kind of mad.
Consoles are always going to be behind PC. That's
a given. That's because they have a life cycle. PCs don't have an actual life cycle because you can upgrade. I was actually kind of mad when I heard the announcement because I dropped $450 on this 430. I'm sorry, on this bundle. It's a limited edition. And I can't get the same, even if I were willing to spend my money on a new console, then my limited edition would be goddamn useless. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want, I wish Sony would just backpedal on this the way Microsoft backpedaled on the Xbox One DRM things.
Yeah, but the Xbox One got an upgrade. They put an SSD hard drive in it for faster loading times. And the reason I have an Xbox One is because I could get it cheap from a friend who really wanted a new one. But I think, like the SSD there's a difference in loading time, but not so much in what kind of games you can play. But if that is going to change and you can't play certain games on the console you bought, and you have to check the box every time they say, yeah, this is only for the PlayStation 4.7 point nog wat.
Yeah, you don't want to
Whatever.
have to check your console version, basically.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know
That's
exactly what you
taking
mean.
everything I think that consoles have going for them is going to take that out, because if you really want the best experience, you're gonna buy a PC.
Yep.
Well, not just that, but I think I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, you mentioned storage, and storage is weird. I think storage should be an interchangeable part, not just for backup purposes, because that's important. Not just backup purposes, but for upgrading purposes that you as a user have control over. You could pop in your old PS4 hard drive into your new one, or you could pop in an SSD. I don't think you could do it on Xbox One. I think that voids the warranty.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
But on PlayStation 3 and 4, you could just swap in a new hard drive, and on Xbox 360, you could swap in a new hard drive on a slim model. If you were even remotely creative, you could just pop open the lid and pull out. It was a normal 2.5-inch HDD in there, but you could but it was in kind of a custom enclosure. It still had the same SATA ports, and you could plug in a normal HDD into your 360, but it would be kind of loose, so you had to pack it in with, I don't know, for instance, some foam rubber or something, just like stuff it in there so it'd be nice and snug, but it'd still be upgradable. And yeah, storage, I think, is something that needs to be at least interchangeable or salvageable. Like, you need to be able to pull out your hard drive and replace it with a new one, because hard drives also have life cycles. But when it comes to processing and graphical power and RAM, I do think that needs to be set in stone.
Yeah, but I wonder about what you said about your hard drive needing to be interchangeable or whatever, because you want to save data. I think pretty much a lot of games are saving your games in the cloud now. So is that really important too?
Well, yeah, of course. But if you don't have PS Plus, you can't do it on PlayStation. And I do believe you need Xbox Gold for cloud saves as well.
Yeah,
Not just that, but think things like, okay, so I have my entire games collection on this hard drive, but I also have an entire games collection on this hard drive, and you might also want to repurpose an HDD.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, I think we kind of exhausted this topic.
Yeah.
So let's move on to
it's
mine.
you.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to mention Dark Souls again. Very sorry.
You can manage.
Well, you'll know my urge to bring it up every single goddamn time as soon as you start playing it. Anyway,
Alright.
there's as we kind of talked about before, contextual storytelling. So storytelling through context. What I talked about with the two knights walking towards a boss and trying to down that boss as well. Stories told through context, and I can't really think of a lot of games that let you or make you piece together the story in such a manner. Like, I know the Soulsborne games are some of them, but I can't really. The only actual example I can think of right now is a very big story spoiler for Metal Gear Solid 5, so I won't really I won't say it, but there's not a lot of it in recent games, because it's all brought to you with, through some kind of character narrative or some kind of story exposition, or even a plot dump in emails that you can read or in letters that you find, but it doesn't really evolve that much into, okay, the clues are there. You just have to find them yourself, like in the environment, in the monster design or enemy design, I should say, because it's not always monsters, or in the level, like in NPC dialogues that are optional, that you kind of have to find yourself. I don't think there's a lot of it in there, like in games in general.
No, I think you're right about that.
Now I'm trying to think of some game. Maybe The Binding of Isaac.
I guess, yeah, the endings in Binding of Isaac kind of imply some things.
Yeah, but also the items do imply some things, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like,
know what you're talking about exactly.
yeah, like when you find things like a belt, your tears go up, and which implies he's been hit around with a belt a lot.
Yeah.
It's a really sad story, but I think The Binding of Isaac, it has hundreds of items, and they pretty much all mean something to the story.
Yeah. Also, in the ending of I think it wasn't Afterbirth, but the one after that, the DLC after that.
I
I'm not
think
sure.
Afterbirth was the last one. Rebirth was.
Rebirth, yes. At the end of Afterbirth, it's heavily implied that spoilers. Well, not really spoilers though, because it's heavily implied that Isaac dies. And the last character you unlock, I believe, is the Fallen or the question mark, the guy that looks like a dead baby.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, but basically
know.
like a dead Isaac with a twisted face and all that. It's kind of implied that he dies, but you still have to kind of figure that out yourself by using the cue that they give you by saying, well, not saying, but showing you in some way, shape, or form that Isaac died. It's just a theory, though, I think. I don't think it's actually confirmed. And that's also what I like about the contextual storytelling, is that there's room for speculation. There's room for people to discuss that kind of game around the water cooler.
Yeah, because I'm not really that much into The Binding of Isaac. This was just something I thought about when you talked about contextual storytelling. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I took away he died. I felt more like it was a game about a kid who was playing in his room and got influenced by his religious mom, and every role and every character you unlock is a version of him and a character he plays. But
yeah, and exactly. I think I saw an episode of Game Theory on this where they explained it's not it's not different characters you're unlocking. It's actually just costumes for Isaac he role plays as. But at the end, the last character you unlock, as I said, is like a dead version of Isaac. It's also the same. It has the same aesthetic as the one that pops up when you get the Ankh item and you die.
Yeah.
But your undead form comes back. Well, that's the same form. You only have one heart.
Yeah, and I never thought about that, but
yeah, see, that's what I mean. It opens doors to discussion, speculation, and interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other games. I don't know if
I can't really think of any, to be honest, other than what has already been mentioned.
Why do I always think of these niche topics? Like the last time I was like, hey, which games use difficulty as a mechanic? Huh, Bloodborne, Dark Souls. That's about it. That kind of thing.
Yeah. You do, don't you?
Yeah, well...
Yeah,
everyone, I have a question to ask.
Now.
Am I pretentious when it comes to video games?
No.
Okay, that did not sound truthful at all.
No, but I don't think you are. But I mean, I think that you know the games and the genre that that you've been playing a lot recently, at least, like with Bloodborne and with Dark Souls and stuff like that. Like, you know,
Bloodborne is
that's
not
how we get
recently
into this.
released. It's 2 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what we've been talking about recently, though, and what you've been
Oh, yeah.
playing. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's how we've gotten into those topics. But and obviously, it doesn't help that, you know, I haven't played it and Marcel haven't played Dark Souls 3. So
But you
might
totally
be
should.
inches.
You totally should.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, you're talking to the girl, though, who had to stop playing Bioshock 2 because I had nightmares 3 days in a row. And I am not even joking. I am not even joking. Like the third night in a row, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna close Bioshock 2 and play some World of Warcraft on my Panda so that I can sleep tonight. So
You know what? I will play Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Next time we talk to each other, I will probably tell you how much I hated it. But
Well,
I'm gonna give it a try. All right?
Sometimes what I always say to people who are new in the series is you've got to kind of power through it, because the guy that I told you about that quit the game after 20 minutes because he was getting way too aggressive, like he was getting frustrated so badly. But he did after a couple of days pick the game up again, and he was like, okay, I gotta admit this game is actually pretty cool after he killed the first boss, because he had that endorphin rush, and he's like, oh my god, you can actually explore shit, and you have to, you know, with the contextual storytelling, there's a lot of customization when it comes to your builds. There's all this stuff you can do that's not told to you, but it's heavily implied. It won't be just you that thinks, this game fucking sucks. I thought the same about Dark Souls 1 when I played it the first time. I was like, oh my god, this fucking sucks.
All right.
But then you kind of power through it, and you have to realize that the game is not so much hard. It's just very fair. It's hard, but not unfair. Like, if you die, you can see.
Yeah.
You can see exactly why you died. You can see exactly what happened. And if you don't, you always have one chance to make it up, right? You can always get your souls back the first time and not make the same mistake again. So it's fair. If you can deal with a game being hard but fair, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, go play the game. The both of you,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
play it.
I'm going to.
No excuses. You too, Julie. Go play the goddamn game.
Okay.
I will force
just
you.
one thing.
I will like.
If you get a text at like 4 a.m. and just be like, "Hey, I had a nightmare," then
well,
I'm blaming you.
Dark Souls is not really horror themed. Dark Souls is more themed about loneliness than it is about horror. If you want horror, you got to play Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a
Alright,
horror game.
I'm just gonna stay with Dark Souls then.
I also, something that that might sell you on it is that it might be the truest form of survival horror. And I got this from Jim Sterling.
All right.
He said that Bloodborne, and to an extension Dark Souls, are kind of the only true remaining form of survival horror. Because it's not really, it's not the narrative or the game itself that is necessarily creepy. There's not a lot of jump scares in there either. But it's more like you have the fear of dying and actually losing something. And you know that the only way forward is through that incredibly ominous looking doorway you see that is sure to house a boss battle or a very intimidating enemy. The only way forward is to move through them. And that is kind of puts you on the spot and makes you make decisions that you would also make in a survival horror game.
Yeah. All right, that sounds interesting though.
But if I'm going to try Dark Souls 3, should I start with 3 or?
The narrative over the 3 games is largely the same narrative. So it tells kind of the same story.
All right.
So it shouldn't
can
matter
just
too
start
much.
with
Yeah, it
3 and
shouldn't. It
pretty much-
shouldn't matter. You could easily start with Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3, and
alright.
it wouldn't matter. Hell, as I said, you're probably gonna have to make some effort to actually understand the story fully.
All right.
So you might sometimes have like no clue what's happening, and there's no shame in looking up a story synopsis, because the developers make sure that, well, they don't really make sure, but they know that people talk on the internet,
Okay.
and they kind of rely on in some places they kind of rely on you talking to other people. Like the fact that you
Alright.
can strike down that bridge I talked about is mentioned nowhere. Well, it's not hinted at, and even in retrospect, I would not ever think of slashing the bridge if even if I read that message, which I did. But even after the message, I would not think of it unless somebody told me to do it.
Yeah.
All right. I think this covers our topics for today because we are digressing
Yeah.
again. And Julie, I'm gonna hand it to you for the new releases.
All right, let's get into it then. Monday, May the 9th, which is tomorrow, we have Stellaris coming for PC. Doctor Space Zoo for PC in the US. Shaolin versus Wu Tang in the US for PC.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Chimera Destroy All Monster Girls for PC.
Wow.
Battlestick for PC. And on Tuesday, May the 10th, we have Uncharted 4, A Thief's End for PS4. Orc Assault for PC. Transocean 2 Rivals for PC. Mega Tag Mention Blanc plus Neptune vs. Zombies for Vita. Desire for PC. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2 for Wii U.
that's
Battle
great.
Words. Oh, are you looking forward to that one?
I think it's already out on PC. Yeah, I'm sure.
Ah,
Let me
all
check.
right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You should play it.
All right. Well, it's coming for Wii U. Battle Worlds Chronos for PS4 and Xbox One. Impossible Creatures Steam Edition for PC.
Oh, I wonder what platform that releases. on.
I wonder. Starbreak for PC. Assassins versus Pirates for PC. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth for
It was
PS4.
Afterbirth.
Yes. PS4. On Wednesday, May the 11th, we have Dungeon Rushers for PC. Meld for PC. Raiden 5 for
Raiden.
Xbox One.
Right.
Raiden.
Nobody. No, I was making a Metal Gear Solid reference and nobody got it.
Aw. Sorry. Odd Planet for PC.
I
am so
disappointed in you guys.
I'm sorry. On Thursday, though, we have Zombie Vikings Ragnarok Edition for PS4. Pixel Slime U for Wii U. Super Meat Boy for Wii U. Rocket Fist for PC. Battle Souls for PC. Ref Rain Prism Memories for PC. Madness Cubed for PC. Neon Drive for PC. Insincere for PC. Impossible Geometry for PC. Rogueport Red Nightmare for PC. And on Friday, May the 13th, guys.
Friday the 13th. Dun dun dun.
Dun
Doom.
dun dun. There's the release of Doom for PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
I think they did.
I
The House in Fata Morgana for PC. Farming 2017 The Simulator for PS4, PC, and Xbox One. Mega Tag Mention Blank Neptune versus Zombies released in Europe for Vita. And Disney Art Academy for 3DS. Elite versus Freedom for PC. Transocean 2 Rivals for PC, Innocuous 5 for PC, Stronghold Crusader 2 Gold for PC, Moonstone Tavern for PC, Crush for PC, Sins of the Demon for PC, Murasaki for PC, Troll for PC, Dynabomb for PC, Fleet Com for PC, and Dungeon of Sultan for PC.
All right.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's it. All right.
That's it. So that was the releases for this coming week.
Well, yeah, there's not much there's not much else to it. To this episode, actually. We don't
No.
have much more to talk about. So hopefully we'll be on a more tight schedule instead of recording every few weeks. Now we have a more I guess a crew that's more in tune, synchronized when it comes to planning. So we should be able to record every week on the same day at the same time.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers. And
Well,
hope
let's
this
not
works.
cross our fingers. Let's just it's up to us. It's not up to luck. It's up to us.
Let's make a
of
promise.
course. Yeah. Pinky
Let's-
promise, guys.
Let's make a
alright.
blood
Yeah.
oath. No, pinky promises. The pinky promises are for little kids. I want to make a blood oath.
Or
Okay, somebody have a knife and a chalice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It sounds like a great way to get VD.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not do that.
Oh.
Oh, so I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys
Yes.
next week. And
Sure.
let us know. You can email us at podcast@getgaming.net. Give us some feedback. Let Marcel know what you think about him. If you have any feedback about him, just let us know.
Only if it's nice.
No. No. You're not famous until you get hate mail.
Oh, all right.
True.
Send me hate mail though.
Send him hate mail. Don't send him hot mail because hot mail sucks, but send him hate mail.
All right.
All right. So,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, see you guys next week and do keep on playing those games.
And hit
Alright.
us up on Twitter or whatever if you
Oh yeah,
want to get in
I
touch.
forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Also, I have an announcement for next week.
Ooh.
There is a big chance that we might get one of my friends who is a streamer on this podcast. I can't promise anything yet, and I won't mention his name, but
Maybe.
he is a good personal friend of mine. He is also an active variety streamer. He's also known for his Metal Gear Solid streams. And he has a very educated opinion as a game collector and, almost a full-time streamer. So, let's hope we can get him on.
All right.
Apart from that, yes, again, plug our Twitters. You can follow me at dvoice_. It's pretty simple. If you want to add me on PSN, it's dvoice_hacks. So this dvoice HAX. Do let me know you're from the podcast, or I probably won't accept you. Yeah, that's all there's to it
Yeah.
for me.
You can hook me up on Twitter at SyriaXO or find me on Steam at the Syria. And that's me. Marcel, do you
All
have
right.
any
You
social
can follow
medias?
me on Twitter, just under Marcel Dillon, my real name. Also on Steam, or Marcel Live on Xbox Live.
All right, so that's all we have for this week. We will see
All
you
right.
next week.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.